They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
Roll of Honour. Stephen England. Captain Alan Murray Brown. Lieutenant Bertram Matthews. Private Joseph William Davenant. Private Herbert Best. Private Herbert Roswell. Private Charles Bond. Private William Mayle. Wilfred Bond. Wilfred Budge. Bernard Charles England. Arthur Frederick Harris. Andrew Basil Williamson.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Send us victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen.
Captain Alan Murray Brown from Manor Farm died at the Battle of Neuve-Chapelle on the 12th of March 1915. He was 34 years old and fighting for the 47th Sikh Regiment sent to back up troops at the Somme. Lieutenant Bertram Cash Matthews from St Gabriel's Vicarage on North Street was engaged in various battles on the Western Front between 1914 and the 24th of March 1917, when he died at the age of 25 at the Battle of Arras, fighting with the 2nd Battalion Royal Scots Lothian. Private Joseph William Davenant. He was from Love Lane, enlisted at Wrexham, and was moved out to Gallipoli with the 8th Battalion of the Royal Welsh Fusiliers in July 1915. He died only a few days later, on the 27th of July, at the age of 21. Private Herbert Garfield Best was part of the 1st Battalion of the Somerset Light Infantry, which mobilised for war in August 1914. This division was heavily involved in action on the Western Front, including Ypres. He was killed in action in France and Flanders at the age of 28. Private Herbert Rousel from Shepton enlisted in Battersea and joined the 32nd Battalion of the Royal Fusiliers, which was mobilised for war in May 1916. After being in various battles on the Western Front, and he was killed in action at France and Flanders on the 7th of August 1917, aged 36. Private Charles William Bond from Great Lane enlisted in Taunton in August 1914 at the age of 18 and joined the 1st 5th Battalion of the Somerset Light Infantry. The battalion moved out to Suez, Egypt in May 1917, and he lost his life at the age of only 20 in the Egyptian theatre of war on the 1st of May 1918. Private Thomas Lawrence from North Street also enlisted in Taunton and served with the 10th Battalion of the Royal Warwickshire Regiment. From July 1915, he was involved in various battles on the Western Front, including Passchendaele. He lost his life at the age of 31 on the 1st of August 1918. Private William Mayle enlisted in Cardiff and and moved out to war in May 1915 with the 7th Battalion King Shropshire Regiment, which took part in several battles on the Western Front. He was killed in action at France and Flanders on 15th of July 1916. He was only 21. We will never forget the sacrifice you and your fellow countrymen made for us.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be it yours to hold on high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Oh, you who sleep in Flanders fields, sleep sweet to rise anew. We caught the torch you threw, and holding high, we keep the faith with all who died. We cherish too the poppy red that grows on fields where valour led. It seems to signal to the skies that blood of heroes never dies, but lends a lustre to the red of the flower that blooms above the dead in Flanders fields. And now the torch and poppy red we wear in honour of our dead. Fear not that ye have died for naught, we'll teach the lesson that ye wrought in Flanders fields.
To You in Whispers by Neil Andrew. I spoke to you in whispers as shells made the ground beneath us quake. We both trembled in that crater, a toxic, muddy, bloody lake. I spoke to you and pulled your ears to try and quell your fearful eye, as bullets whizzed through the raindrops and we watched the men around us die. I spoke to you in stable tones, a quiet, tranquil voice. At least I volunteered to fight. You didn't get to make that choice. I spoke to you of old times. Perhaps you went before the plough and pulled the hay cart from the meadow, far from where we're dying now. I spoke to you of grooming, of when the ploughman made you shine, not the shrapnel wounds and bleeding flanks, mane filled with mud and wire and grime. I spoke to you of courage as gas filled the Flanders air, watched you struggle in the mud, harness acting like a snare. I spoke to you of peaceful fields, grazing beneath a setting sun, time to rest your torn and tired body. Your working day is done. I spoke to you of promises. If from this maelstrom I survive, by pen and prose and poetry, I'll keep your sacrifice alive. I spoke to you of legacy, for when this hellish time is through, all those who hauled or charged or carried will be regarded heroes too. I spoke to you in dulcet tones. Your eye told me you understood, as I squeezed my trigger to bring you peace, the only way I could. And I spoke to you in whispers.